So it's Thanksgiving weekend in the U.S. I'm over here on the dry side of the mountains. Very foggy today. But the last couple of days were just beautiful and sunny. So I needed a little bit of sun. I grew up in Colorado and you know, it's mostly sunny there. Here, over on the wet side, it's kind of the opposite of that. It isn't mostly cloudy, I guess, but it isn't mostly sunny either. Sunshine just makes such a difference. So I brought the camera, the Pentax 645Z over, and we drove around yesterday through the big wheat country, and I have this fondness for what I call pinned lumber construction, which is buildings, the walls are made from dimensional lumber that's laid flat, and then you know, kind of like Lego blocks in a way, or not really Lincoln logs, but then they're just nailed with big nails or pins screwed in. And that style of construction dates from around the turn of the century into the 1920s, I'd say. I should know more about that because I really like the construction technique. So nowadays it would be highly prohibitive cost-wise, but it makes a simple, very solid structure. And there are any number of grain elevators and surprisingly large structures made from that dimensional lumber. So lumber must have been fairly inexpensive at the time. Anyway, I just love seeing those buildings, and a lot of them are still being used. So I was just kind of taking some pictures of them. I'll put pictures at the end of this if you're interested. But I brought the truck over in case of snow on the passes. Doesn't look like there'll be anything. But it does make it easier to drive down those lonely, empty dirt roads that are so much fun to explore. So we've been doing that. I'm in Roy's cherry orchard right now. It's foggy as heck today, and so it's kind of become a football and snack day, which is fine. Smoking an unnamed but really good-sized pipe here. Kind of that classic British half-bent, you know. Smoking some 2012 Blue Mountain from McLelland. So it might be past its prime date, but wow, is it smooth and mellow. Yeah, not quite as deeply tasty as it was originally, but just really nice. So thank you, Dan. He had it in a little jar, and he was getting out of pipe smoking, and so he gave me his little jars of tobacco, and so this was one of them. So very nice. Yeah, so I call that photo safarying, where we just head out, and instead of looking for wild animals, we'll take those too. We're just looking for things that might make an interesting photograph. So kind of capture the mood of a place. That's what I like. So getting to know the camera. It has the lenses I have for it, and I have quite a little herd of lenses at this point. I've always had an interest in using vintage film era lenses with digital. But with the Sigma SD Quattro I had, it gave this kind of green cast oftentimes. Inexplicable. Nobody could explain, you know, how to deal with it or why it really happened, honestly. But the Foveon sensor they use brings in light a little differently. So So that was sort of unsuccessful, and I acquired a few, and they're all very inexpensive lenses. And then the 645Z was used, and it came with a couple of lenses, neither of which are too sharp. The zooms are from the A series, the fully manual lenses are, I mean, they really make you appreciate a modern lens, yeah. But it's all good fun. So I'm getting used to the camera, and I had picked up a Pentax 6x7 300 millimeter f4 lens, this really huge lens, for really cheap. They're just so inexpensive. And an inexpensive P67 to 645 adapter, and it's fully manual, but really a lot of fun. So, and it's a pretty sharp lens. And then I had picked up a 120 millimeter f4 macro, which ends up being what, it's 0.7 something magnification factor for the medium format. So, or does that, because it is a medium format lens, well, I don't know, anyway, it's quite a sharp lens. And then I picked up a 35 millimeter f3.5, which is kind of equivalent to 28 millimeter in full frame. And it's a surprisingly sharp lens. As I've read on the blogs, you know, you have to kind of read about these things and then pick through them and choose your technique, which is mostly on a tripod anyway, so shooting at low ISOs. I did catch a grain train, an empty grain train coming back from Seattle via Stampede Pass. I passed it coming down I-90. It was moving along pretty good. And I thought, maybe that'll go through the Yakima Canyon. So I diverted down through the Yakima Canyon, found a place and set up with that Pentax 300 millimeter that I'd never used before. And was waiting there, and the light was failing, you know, it was getting kind of dark, and it was getting kind of cold. I thought, nah, it's not coming. And I almost broke the setup down. It was on a tripod. And then boom, there it came. And so I got a couple of shots of that, and that was kind of fun. So that Yakima Canyon's a great place. Wow. I still have to find a web app. There was no service in the canyon, so I actually tried while I was waiting to see if there was an app that would tell me when trains were going to roll through the canyon, and I haven't found anything like that. So if anybody knows an app that tells you approximately when trains are going to be coming through, that would be useful, you know, instead of just sitting in a place all day long waiting for trains. We were going to take the truck over to the Joso Trestle by Palouse Falls State Park. We might do that tomorrow if it's not foggy. It was just too foggy today, and presumably it's as foggy over there, so that wouldn't be very useful photographically. But it's such a great country over there, so dramatic. And that trestle is just this huge trestle that crosses the Snake River. And it is quite remarkable. So, yeah, the rail history over there is really interesting. So, and you know, somebody commented, I sent some friends these first pictures through the Yakima Canyon, and their comment is, you know, it's amazing how General Electric has taken over from EMD and the engine, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, that isn't my big focus, is the nuances of the equipment. You know, I know it is for a lot of rail fans. I'm just still in the giddy teenage phase, I guess, of just loving the power and just everything about a train as it rolls by, and especially through beautiful country, you know. This Blue Mountain is great, but you have to kind of keep it lit, which I'm not. So I debated about coming over here. The imperative was stay home, keep your social gatherings small. So it's just a friend and I. And he'd had a little health issue, and I kind of wanted to check in on him and see how he's doing. So he's doing okay. He's doing better than I thought he would. So that's good. And you can keep your contacts quite small and be very safe, as safe as you can be, by doing it consciously, So, here I am. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. May go over there. It's a 2-hour drive over there. Through big, beautiful country if it's sunny. But sure isn't sunny today. So, yeah. But anyway. So I'll share a few pictures here at the end. And it's just fun. Yeah, my friend commented, he said, yeah, it's fun just getting out. It gives you a reason to get out and go exploring. And it's a kind of an innocent, good-natured hobby. It's not, doesn't seem to have any bad aspects to it. So I have to agree with that. And it is just a hobby. I mean, I would never have invested. I really like my little Sigma SD Quattro. But, when people around you are getting older and getting more frail and not being able to do as much, I thought, well, the time is now to do, if you can. I cashed out a lot of vacation pay. The time is now to do the stuff you enjoy and not wait. So, yeah. And I'm glad I did. I mean, I'm having fun with it. The lenses aren't as sharp as, I don't know. I'm having to revise my expectations about that. But they just don't have that razor sharpness that I'm used to with the Sigma glass, and particularly the art glass that is just like, wow, like a scalpel. But they have a certain film quality. I don't know, it's kind of different, and I like it. Yeah. So anyway, see what you think. It's just good fun. So practicing doing focus stacking, and I'm a minimal post-processor, and I shoot in RAW. Luckily it shoots in DNG mode, so that's pretty much a universal RAW format. And then I do a little cropping, brightening up, maybe a little contrast and sharpening, get rid of some dust specks, whatever, in post, but not do too much. So that's just my way of doing it. I know there are people, I've watched some of these YouTube videos on, well, here's how I, do this photo, and these professional photographers, and oh my God, they're doing luminosity masks and getting rid of in-painting, where there was a car, they'll get rid of it. It's like this massive kind of photoshopping effort. I don't like to do that. I just kind of like to capture as close as I can what I saw. Yeah. So everybody does it different. Yeah. It's just a expression thing, and so it's all okay, whatever anybody wants to do. But yeah, you gotta have fun with it. So a foggy day is really a great time to smoke a pipe. I don't know what it is about it exactly, but it seems very appropriate. So Yeah. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. We might head over to Joso, or who knows. We'll see. It's just all good fun.